This is the Winemaker. My family has been involved in winemaking for the last 80 years. My grandfather came from Italy in the early 1900s, and he made 100 gallons a year every year since I was a young man. And I learned from my grandfather and my father, my uncle, and many other family members, such as cousins, who also made wine and grew their own grapes. Winemaking in itself is very easy, but it is an art, and to produce good wine, you must know the methodology of winemaking. Today I'm going to talk about that because many people have asked me many questions, such as what is a vat? A vat is a large container that holds your must or juice from any fruit, such as grapes, berries, strawberries. You can really produce wine from any type fruit juice. But today we are going to talk about just basic winemaking. Now, in order to make wine, what you must do first, if you have to crush your fruit, you crush all your fruit up, you throw it into this large open vat, and then you induce Camden tablets, potassium metabisulfite, and let that stay in there for 24 hours. And the purpose of that is to kill any unwanted bacteria and any yeast, wild yeast, that is in that juice. After the 24-hour expiration period, then you start producing your wine. Then you add the proper amount of sugar, if necessary, to bring it up to roughly 25% sugar content, and you add your proper yeast. And then you let that ferment for 3 to 5 days in the open vat. In that 3 to 5 day period, which is called a boiling point, that is when the yeast is most active and the juice or must, whatever you want to call it in wine terminology, is most vigorous to the boiling point. And it's eliminating most of the carbonic gases that are created. After the 3 to 5 day period, then we do what's known as racking or siphoning of the wine. We siphon that into clean containers, and we put an airlock, or what we call a water seal, at the top, and let it ferment for another 14 to 20 days until the wine starts fining. After that period, we siphon again, what we call racking, and not to disturb the base content, at least 1 to 2 inches from the base with the siphon hose, and you discard the base. And then after that, it's a matter of clearing the wine. They call that fining. You let it stay probably another 10 to 14 days, and after that point you will see the wine becomes very clear. You can use what they call a candle test or a flashlight test. Turn a flashlight on, go to the opposite side of the carboy, and see if you can see the light through the wine. If you can see the light very bright, that means your wine is clear. Then it is ready for bottling. Of course, when you start bottling your wine, you have to sterilize all your bottles, and you can do this by washing them down in a good solution of potassium metabisulfite, 2 tablespoons per gallon of water, and that should do it. You kill any bacteria, any living organisms, and then you can bottle a safe wine. And always add 1 Camden tablet per 5 gallons of wine into the wine to protect it. And what that does, it stops unwanted fermentation in the bottle and kills any yeast that is left over. And that's about it. People ask me a lot of questions. I have made several videos already on distilling of wine, and many questions are asked of me, and I try to answer them in an intelligible way. Like Mr. Winemaker, when do we use a water seal? Well, normally what you do, if you're making a small batch of wine, say you're only making 1 gallon of wine from juice, well, then in that particular case, you can really water seal from the first day. But normally, if you're making a 5 to 10 gallons of wine, 20 gallons, 30 gallons, 40 gallons, 50 gallons and up, well then you should start in an open vat, because normally when you produce that much wine, you're usually crushing fruit. You're crushing grapes or some other type of fruit product. And you should let it go, because it's going to be a vigorous boil, what they call a vigorous boil, for the first 3 to 5 days. Let that go for 3 to 5 days, and then after that, then you siphon that into clean carboys or giant containers, and then you have to water seal and airlock. I hope this video has been very beneficial to each and everyone watching. But any questions, please ask me, because it is almost impossible to think of everything when you're doing a video. I do not read off of a paper. This is in my head. All this knowledge is in my head because of many years of making wine with my family members. And I can answer a lot of questions when asked. And God bless, and I hope you really make wine, and a good wine and good happiness to all.